Okay, let me launch a Linux server for right for today's Linux class. So Linux server, I want to create it. Okay, so I can go for any server, Amazon Linux, Ubuntu, right? So these are all the flavors, right, of Linux, right? Yesterday we have seen that, right? So Amazon Linux, so 64-bit architecture, right? So I want 1 GB RAM. Okay, so let me create a queue pair called okay, Linux server. Okay, we are opening the port called SSH. Okay, and 8 GB storage and launch it. 8 GB hard disk and launch the server. You all instances. Right? We reload it. Yeah, let me reconnect to the server AWS account again. Right, this is our Linux server. Let's connect to it. Yeah, so as of today, right? So Linux architecture we have seen. So what is Linux? What are the different flavors of Linux, right? So we have seen yesterday, right? So what is normal user? What is root user? So let's understand, right? Yesterday we have seen file hierarchy as well. Let's see files and folders. Let's see files and folders. Okay, how to create a file, how to create a folder in Linux. So I connected to a Linux server. Let me become the root user. Which user I am currently? How to know that? Here you can see EC2-user. This is a welcome message. Right? This is the IP. Right? Let's become the root user. Who am I? You can see that which user you are. EC2-user. How to become a root user? You can use, right? You can use sudo switch user do as a super user. Right? Right? So right. Yes. So let's become the root user. We are a become user, right? Root user now. I'm a root user, right? So yes. Okay. So how to know that? How to know that? You can use who am I, right? Okay. Right. So right. So let's see how to create a file and how to create a folder, right? So so we have currently which folder. So in Windows, you're in which folder by using for example, right? You can use by using the here, right? So similarly, if you want to see in Linux, there is a command, guys, pwd, present working directory. Which command? Pwd, present working directory. You know which directory you're currently in, right? Present working directory. We'll call it as present working directory. Okay. So right. So we have to know that present working which directory you're currently in, right? So present working at PWD, right? So anyway, so currently you're in which location? Home EC2-user folder. Under home EC2-user folder you're currently in. So if you want to know, right, what are the files in your current location, as I said yesterday, ls list files or ll, right? That means currently EC2-user folder not having any files or folders, right? ls ls is for long list, ls is for short list. Okay, ln long list, ls, right? ll is long list, ls is short list, right? So short, this is right. So you can view the files. Okay. So if you want to create a file or if you want to create a folder, there are commands like touch command which help you to create a folder. For example, I want to create a folder called some Ravi. Okay. So if you want to create a folder, there is a command mkdir directory, make a directory. We can say folder or we can say directory. Okay. So you can say folder or we can say directory. So right, any name is fine. So mkdir folder name, for example, India. Okay, if you see, if you want to create a file, touch file name. You can see ls file is clear. Earlier nothing, right? If you want to create a folder, mkdir India. So India right folder Ravi file is created. And if you want to know that, you can use. If you want to know see more information, you can see LL is for long list, right? This is folder, this is file. Some information you can see that, right? What is that? Let me put it in the notepad, right? So here, the first letter. Whenever you see first letter D, it's a directory. Whenever you see first letter D means it's a directory, it's a folder. Okay, you can identify it's a folder. India is a folder. Whenever you see first letter hyphen, there is a file. File. Okay, the first letter hyphen means it's a file. First letter D means it's a directory. Okay, the file or folder you can identify that, right? File or folder, right? The next thing, what is the next thing? The next thing is permissions. The next thing is permissions. Okay, so these are I would say permissions. Okay, permissions. Okay, and this is we will call it as inode number. Inode number. Okay, two, one, right? And this is we'll call it as which user created this? Which user created this? Which user created this file? Username. Which group can access this? This is group related. Here, group is root, user is root. What next? Next is size. What is the size? 6 KB. Size in KB. Okay. Okay. So the folder India size is 6 KB. Ravi file is 0. Why? Because I created touch, right? Touch will help you to create empty file. Okay. And this is nothing but date and time. Okay. Date and time. And finally, name of the file or name of the folder, right? So we have this is we are good, right? So now, right? So this is the thing we will understand, which is right. What are the permissions? What are the right? So for example, I want to go to India folder. I'm currently under where, right? I am currently under slash home slash ec type of news. If I want to go to India folder, now I can use cd command, right? Cd India folder. If you want to know that where you are, you can say pwd. You're under home ec2 hyphen user, right? So it's a India, right? India folder, right? So home ec2 hyphen user India. Right? Pwd is a command, right? And cd is a command to go to a particular folder, right? If you want to know that. If you want to go back one step, I mean currently I'm in home ec type and user India. If I want to go to one step back, ec type and user folder, you can use cd dot dot cd dot dot. Whenever you use cd dot dot, you will back to one step back. If you want to go two steps back, cd dot dot slash dot dot. Okay, like if you want to go to particular folder like slash bin, you can use slash bin. Okay, like so. This is how you move one step back, right? So anyway, so let me clear the screen. Clear is a command. I can use history to see list of run commands. I can see date. I can see my system time. Okay, so we can use clear is a command, history is a command, right? Uh, right. So you can use that, right? So we have time command, we have date command, right? Anyway, right? So anyway, let me clear it again. So here I have India folder, I have Ravi folder. What is the files under India? You can see nothing. What I will do, I want to rename this Ravi folder to, for example, some Kumar. Okay, how to rename it? MV Ravi with another name, for example, Kumar. Now, if you see, it is changed. So MV can help you in two occasions. Okay, in two cases. One is you can move it also. MV, if you mention Kumar and a folder name, for example, India. If you mention MV with file name with another file name, it will change. If you mention MV with file name and a folder name, it will move. Is it there, Kumar? No. But where it is? Under India. Right? MV will help you in renaming the file and also moving the file name and a folder. Right? For example, so I have one more folder locally, for example, touch H5. I have H5. I want to move, copy this. I don't want to move. Okay. I want to keep my Hyderabad file in current location, EC-user, also India folder. Right. How to move that? You can see India folder as in Kumar. Currently, I have Hyderabad file. CP command, CP Hyderabad to India. Now, if you see, locally it is there. In India folder also it is there. So CP is a command to move, right? To copy file from one location to another location, right? So, for example, if you want to delete a file, if you want to delete a file, so you can delete it by using rm file name. If you want to delete a folder, you can use rmdir file name. Okay, for example, here I have India file. Let me delete it. RM Hyderabad file. Yes, I want to delete. Please delete. If you want to delete, yeah, I have one more folder. Like for example, mkdir UK. So UK folder nothing, no files in that. But if India folder, two files. If you want to delete folder, you can use rmdir UK. It is deleted. If you want to delete a files with right, folder with files, for example, India is not empty. India folder having some files. If you want to delete it, you will get here. So how to delete it? First of all, you need to delete these files and delete the folder. But what will be the problem if you have 100 files? It will take time. How to overcome this? There is a command, guys, rm-r and a folder. You are deleting recursively. That means first you are deleting Kumar file, Hyderabad file, finally India file. You can see that. So rm hyphen r folder name. Okay. So you can delete a folder, you can create a folder. You are good with that, right? Right. So we have to, right. So these are the commands. But how to edit a file? Edit the file. How to enter information to the file? Right. So, for example, touch some Pratiksha. There is a file called Pratiksha. It's an empty file. If you want to see that, Pratiksha file is 0, right? So, if you want to see the information in that Pratiksha file, cat command. Is there any information? Nothing, right? If you want to know which OS you are, you can use a file, guys. etc os-release. Which OS is Amazon Linux? Which flavor it is? Amazon Linux, right? Then 2023 version. If you want to know your file information, right, within that, you can use cat command to see the information. But if you want to add a information to a file, you have to use a editor, file editor. We will call it as editor. Okay. So there are many editors in Linux. VI editor, Nano editor. Okay. So most commonly used editor is VI. So VI editor, using VI editor, okay, using VI editor, right, you can, right, you can edit a file, you can enter information in a file. The VI editor having two modes. What are those? Two modes. What are those? One is insert mode. Another one is command mode. One is command mode. If you want to go to insert mode, there is a I symbol you have to press. If you want to go to insert mode, command mode, you have to press escape. Okay. If you see, currently you have a file Pratiksha. There is no information in that. I want to enter some data. I want to go to Pratiksha file, VI Pratiksha. I'm inside the file. I'm inside the file. Okay. If you look at here, nothing. If I press I can go to insert mode. Now I'm insert mode. I can enter some data. This is AWS and batch. Okay. So if I want to save this, I can use escape. If I want to go to insert mode again, I can go I. If I press I, you can see this. If I press escape, I'm going to press escape. If you see that, it will be changed. It changed. If you press I, you can change it. How to say this? Press escape. Use colon. Press colon. W plus press W here. Okay, and Q. Right, Q. Exclamation. Right. So if you want to save that, you need to press this button right after pressing escape. How to save your file? Escape, and then right, save and quit, right? So and then use colon WQ exclamation. The W means writing the changes. W means writing the changes. Writing. Q means quit. Okay, Q means quit. Okay, Q means quit. Okay, we'll call it right. If you press S enter, you can see it is saved and quit. If you see that file again, the date, right? So using VI editor, you can add information. You can add the information to the file. Okay, there are two modes: insert mode, command mode. You can use press I to go to insert mode. You can use ESC to go to command mode. Right. Just note this. Just note down this commands. I will give some 5 minutes. Just note down. Right. So if you want to know first 10 lines of a file, you can use head. If you want to know last 10 lines of a file, use tile. If you want to see more information, you can use, right, for example, tile, uh, right, tile, you can use file name, last 10 lines. First 10 lines, you can use head. Okay. And if you want to see more information, more, 57%, right, 60%. If you want to see less information, less, right, sure, right, you can see slow. If you want to quit, use Q. So let's understand users and groups. Okay, users and groups. So why users? Right? What is the use of the users in Linux? If you have a file, I want that file. Okay, there are two users. One is developer, another one is DevOps engineer. Okay, DevOps engineer. Okay, there is a developer, there is a DevOps engineer. So there is a file called Jenkins file. I want this Jenkins file to be accessed by DevOps engineer. Okay, we will not create multiple servers for each user. Okay, so we'll use only right server. That servers to be accessed by developer as a also DevOps engineer. The files to be also accessed within that. Right. So based on the users. So how to do that? How to do that? So if you see right, so how many users in your system? How to know that? Using a command cat /etc users file as usually, or you can see pass wd file. Use cat etc pass wd. There is a user, ec2 user, and you can go to /home. Here you can see user related folders, ec2 user folder. Why? Because that ec2 user can upload his files. Okay. For example, if I want to add a user, user add is a command. Username is, for example, some uh, okay, Alex. Okay. So now if you see user is added, if you want to verify, etc pass wd. Earlier Alex user is not there. Now Alex user is added, and also Alex related folder also created under home. This is Alex username, user ID, group ID, home directory, and a shell. Okay, and a shell. So I I can know that whether user is added or not using passwd file. I can add a user using user add username. If I want to delete a user, user del username. If I want to right add a user, I can use user add username, right? And if I want to provide a password to the user, passwd username. Okay, which file I can check whether user having password or not. There is a password, right, there is a file. Okay, shadow. Okay, if you want to verify, let me add another user add uh, Frank. Okay, right, Frank user you can see here, right? If you want to add a password to the user called Frank, if you want to verify whether password is there or not, /etc shadow file. No user, no password for Alex and Frank, right? If you want to provide a password, pass wd username. Set any password, right? Now password is added to Alex. Which file? Shadow file. You can see this is a encrypted password, right? Frank user not having any password. If you want to remove any user, user del username. If you want to verify, you can verify the files, right? So this is how you will add a user, you will delete a user, you will add a password. So similarly, if you want to add a group in Linux, group add is a command, group name. But which file you will check in the interviews? They will ask you which file you will check. Okay, /etc group name, right? And if you want to delete a user, group del group name. If you want to set a password for the user group, gpasswd group name. Okay, right? If you see here, right, just note down this. I will show how to create a group, how to add a user, how to add a user to the group also. Okay, so just note down. So yeah, let's see how to create a group, how to add a users into the group. So why groups? So for example, this is a file, and this is one user, okay, and this is another user, okay. So instead of giving one user's permissions to individually, we can create this user into a group, and we can directly give a group permission. If you have multiple files like this, right? So you can, right, right. If whenever new user is added, right, so you can simply add that user to a group, right? You can simply add a users to a group, right? So it will be save your time, and it is easily manage the permissions of the user, right? So right, so how to add a group? You can use which file, you can check /etc group file. Here you can see the groups, okay, and Alex group is right from user group. So right, whenever user is created, the user with that username group also created, okay. But how to specifically add a group? Group add, for example, DevOps group. Now if you see, DevOps group is created. This is DevOps group ID 1002, and there is no password set, okay. If you want to set a password for the group, okay, there is a file you can check, Shadow file. Let me add another group add, for example, some testing group add, okay. Now you can see testing group. How to set a password? Passwd testing. Set some password. Now if you see, right, passwd, shadow file. Testing user, I set a password. DevOps user, empty, no password, right? If you want to delete any group, you can use group del some DevOps. Now if you see cat file name, right? So using group add group name, we can add a group. Using group del, you can delete a group. Using passwd, you can delete a set a password to the group. So which file you will check? Shadow file, right? So for example, if you want to add a user, you can use user mod, okay, user mod. If you want to add a user to the group, -a -g group name. For example, I want to add a user to the group called uh, Alex user. Okay, to which group I want to add? I need to add it to some testing group. Okay, so if you want to add it, you can add. Now, if you want to verify, you can verify Alex user. Earlier, nothing, right? Nothing. Now, Alex. If you want to remove this user, you can use passwd -delete Alex user from testing group is removed, right? If you want to verify, you can verify again. Is removed, right? So you can add a user, you can delete a user, right? Like this. So can you note down the last two commands? Okay. So that's about it today. Okay. So I will, okay, I will discuss the next things. in next one. So you right, we have to discuss these topics. Okay, we'll discuss later. Okay, thank you.